Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chakras and Cusswords Podcast. Today's episode, I just realized it's starting to get a little dark in here, and I was like, oh, should I still record? I don't know. I usually like to record when the sun is facing the windows to give me more light, but I'm going to try to, I'm hoping the lighting is okay. But today's topic is all about being that empowered woman and also being that high profile woman. When we look at the energy of high profile, it's basically the energy of developing an attitude to being a high profile woman. Yes, there is some energy of success and wealth that kind of takes place, but more of it is focused on the actual movement of being high profile in the mindset and understanding that the mindset is the first step of becoming that high profile individual. And this could be for men, and this can also be for women as well, depending on who you are and what it is that you are looking to complete and be centered within your energy of goals. So becoming a high profile woman involves different energies. It develops with a personal mindset of growth, and it understands that there's a professional and also center of excellence that you are looking to achieve. So you want to kind of visualize what your high profile individual looks like. When we are thinking of the high profile you want to still keep it authentic to yourself. You don't necessarily want to go totally off and think of, somebody who is not you, because there's still traits of you that we're going to want to see and that you're going to keep, or else creating this alignment of your high profile self is not necessarily going to occur very easily, and you're going to see more substances and obstacles that kind of get in the way because you have given up a piece of the real you and the energy of who you are authentically. So your high profile self is still yourself. It's just another energetic alignment of being a little bit more successful in certain areas. So define your vision and goals. I'm trying not to talk so fast because I know my high profile self doesn't need to talk as fast as my not high profile self. So definitely define your visions and goals and look to clarify your purpose of why it is that you want to be this high profile being, why it is that you want to be this high profile energy. Also, clearly make a purpose. What is it about this high profile individual that stands out to you? Also, you're going to look at identifying your passions and also looking at long-term objectives. Set measurable goals and also set energy around breaking certain steps. The hardest part about setting goals is actually completing them, right? But also the hardest part is setting the steps to get those goals completed. So break into your action state, break into that area of state. Another thing that we really think about when we see high profile individuals or people who are considered very successful in whatever their focus is. So you could be a high profile individual, meaning you're looking to enhance your career, or you're looking to enhance your home life. It could be with your family, it could be with your spiritual and religious practices. Maybe you're looking to kind of look at more energy around that alignment. Regardless of what your high profile person means to you, you want to look at that energy of building an expertise. So, for instance, if you are trying to become a high profile person in your career, you're going to want to study your career focus. You're also going to want to study that energy of learning more about it, also learning about your weaknesses, and also studying the energy of credibility. So if I was to tell you I was a podcaster and I met you from off the street, you would probably be like, this girl's crazy. She's not a podcaster. she doesn't look like a podcaster. She doesn't talk like a podcaster. I don't believe her. But since I actually have a experience podcasting for the last 4 years, I've already started to build up my expertise. I've already started to master my craft. So look at what it is that you want to master and also start to gain some deep knowledge and experience in that field. Earn credentials, earn past experiences, earn moments. It could be testimonials, it could be whatever it is that you are focused on. Remember, you want to be a high profile individual in the path that's right for you. So if this is having a small business, if this is being centered around the energy of maybe career or education or family life or spirituality or religious practices, or just being a high profile individual altogether, the whole package, you want to look at that area of where you are gaining expertise. I will tell you, when you are earning credentials, you want to look at things that are reliable and also relatable. Like, just don't go and buy a certificate on like life coaching if you aren't actually doing the course, right? And even though people may have never ever asked you for that certification, they may never say, oh, and technically you don't have to have a certification to be a life coach, but they may never say to you, oh, where's your certification in life coaching before I sign up with you, right? Technically, you don't have to be certified. Anybody could be a life coach, just like anybody could be a podcaster, anybody could be a writer, anybody can do what it is that their high profile individual wants to do. But since you are trying to, and you are showing that you have an expertise, you want to look at places that can give you those credentials. So if that means going back to school, if you now decided that, you know what, I'm tired of being a nurse, maybe I want to be a doctor. Maybe I want to be a licensed provider. Maybe I want to be a nurse practitioner. Maybe I want to be somebody who is a little bit of a level up. Or maybe I want to be more focused on business administration. Maybe I want to do all these things towards maybe nursing leadership. You're going to have to go back and get those credentials. You're going to have focus during those times to get those accolades. I can barely say that word, accolades, and getting the education, the certifications that you need to create those goals, to create that next step to your goals. So another thing that I would say is very important is you want to let your work show who you are. So for instance, like let's say you're a fitness guru, right? You want to be focused on maybe fitness. Not only are you going to learn about the fitness profession, but you're also going to learn about maybe workouts that you don't necessarily like to do because you know your clientele might like to do them, right? So you're also going to look at stuff that has and gives you a wide range perspective where people can see that you are ambitious and you do show your achievements and you also have created success in those achievements. So for instance, let's say you want to be, I don't know, a flight nurse. You're going to definitely have to see, where did flight nurses come from? What experiences is it that they have? What experiences is it that they have achieved? Most of them have basically a lot of critical thinking behind them because they are in a lot of critical situations. So they probably have ICU experience, they probably have operating room experience, they probably have ER experience. You know, they have a specialized set of expertise and knowledge to back them. And this is with everything that you do. Even if you are wanting to be somebody who's more centered in that energy of maybe the metaphysical. For instance, like me, I didn't necessarily want my higher, I guess you could say, my higher profiled woman to be focused on my career because I do feel like for the moment I have achieved what it is that I want to achieve towards my career. Who knows? Maybe in a year or two, I'll decide to like do something else. But right now, I want to be focused on more of what it is that I like to talk about that has nothing to do with nursing. So that is the energy of the metaphysics. So that is astrology, that is alchemy, that is spirituality, that is the mindset, and that is moving forward in different aspects that some people might not necessarily see as my career focus, because this is more of a personal stance for myself, right? And also for you as well. Another thing that you want to stay focused on is talking about your achievements. So when you are a high profile individual, and when you see high profile individuals, usually you could tell that they are a high profile individual because other people will tell you about their achievements, or they will tell you about their achievements. And even though it might sound like a little conceited, but in all honesty, it's just giving yourself recognition of what you've already completed. Another thing that you want to do is develop a strong personal brand. Who is it that you are? People understand that you have crafted your narrative. Your narrative is you. Your story of who you are is from you. Yes, you don't want to go and like make all these lies, right? You still want to be truthful to your real you, to who you are, to what you came from what obstacles you created, what obstacles you've accomplished, some of the roadblocks in the way, some of the energy around there. But you don't necessarily need to tell everybody everything about you, because you want to show who is that empowering, high profile individual that you represent right now. So I might not necessarily tell everybody everything about me, because that doesn't resemble a high profile individual. For instance, like today, I cleaned my house all day. That's what I did. I cleaned my house all day. But a high profile individual probably wouldn't have cleaned their house all day. They probably would have had housekeepers who would have cleaned their house, right? But for me, mentally, spiritually, I like to keep my own home clean, and I like to do some of the cleaning, right? I like to do the majority of the cleaning. Actually, I do all the fucking cleaning. But that's not necessarily something that I would tell somebody, right? Because they might think, oh, wow, she's not really that high profile, because why doesn't she have like housekeepers? It's none of their business, right? But there's certain things you don't tell people, because you are creating this brand. You are creating this persona. So you want to be consistent in your story, and you're also going to want to be consistent in your platform. Also, when you are becoming this high profile individual, I want you to think about how this high profile individual is going to play on social media. Maybe this high profile individual has no social media. Oh my God. I mean, that is very high profile. When you don't even have social media, you're like, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't like it. Hey, more power to you. Like, I feel like those people are super like, they're like, I don't need any validation from anybody. I don't need to advertise anything. I don't need to do any of those things. I don't like social media. I don't have social media, and I don't want it. But if you do have social media and you do like social media, like me, you're going to want to see what is the leverage of being this high profile person. How are you going to leverage your high profile self, your high profile resume on social media? What influence are you going to have on TikTok? What influence are you going to have on LinkedIn? Where are you going to spend most of your time? Where are you going to basically show who you are and show your energy of achievements? And also, of course, you're going to do it with people in your inner circle, your community, and your collective. Also, another thing that you want to do is you want to look at people who are high profile individuals are admired and usually are genuine when it comes into their personality. So don't let the whole social media thing take you by storm and you lose focus of who you are. Another thing that you should do is look at networking and strategizing. Networking and strategizing, building relationships and connecting with people who are very similar in the high profile entity and energy you want to resemble. So that would be, if you are looking for mentors, it's very important. I have had mentors all through my life. I've had mentors all through my journey because at some point in my life, I needed somebody to kind of share their stories with me. Let me see how they overcome certain obstacles that I might be going through. Also, you want to connect with people who are high profile in the area that is where you are seeking, that you want to be that energy of. So for instance, if you are thinking about becoming high profile in, let's say, astrology, you're going to join some astrology groups. You're going to join some energy around learning about astrology, going to astrology conventions, doing things like that. Also, you want to join communities. If you're looking to become more of a high profile person in a spiritual emphasis, of course, then you're going to want to join communities that fit with you. If that's religious communities, is that charity events, if that is conferences, organizations, or industry, but you're definitely going to build a collective. Also, you are going to want to add value and knowledge of the things and opportunities that you can share with this collective. You want to add to this collective. You just don't want to be there getting, like showing, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm high profile, and everybody loves me. No, you actually want to go there, share your expertise, share and give to that collective. Another thing you want to do is you want to maintain a high value image. And that basically means you don't want to fuck around and find out, right? You want to invest in your appearance. That could be something as easy as skincare, seeing what your high profile individual looks like. How do they dress? How do they speak? What is it that they stay centered? You want to look professional. And I know the majority of the time, sometimes we don't want to get up and get dressed and go to the grocery store, but we do want to have that acknowledgement that if somebody sees us in the grocery store, we don't literally look like we just got out of bed and we're wiping the crusties from our eyes. So we do want to take some time to maybe wash our face, brush our teeth, put our hair back, and, have a casual, cute outfit that might also be comfy and cozy as well. But you just definitely want to also understand that people will embrace this professional person that you are as much as possible, but especially when you also resemble that part. And high profile people don't necessarily, roll out of bed and look a hot mess, right? High profile people usually have people shopping for them, but also high profile people also make sure that their appearance looks well because they never know when that opportunity might arise. You might see somebody that you've been trying to connect with. What if I ran into somebody who I wanted to do a podcast with and I look a hot mess? I look so crazy and they're like, girl, no, I'm not doing a podcast with you. No, absolutely not. So you definitely want to embrace that professionalism. Also, you never know. It might be somebody who you've secretly been crushing on and then they see you and they're like, oh, this girl, no, or this guy, no, I'm not. They look a hot mess. Appearance does mean something. The appearance does mean something. Another thing a high profile individual does is they understand when they need to stay calm. And also they see that they can manage pressure. So staying poised and stoic is something that is very important into the practice of emotional intelligence, and also understanding that you can create an energy of movement where you are overcoming obstacles and challenges, that you do not allow other people to control your energy. You allow what is happening around you to happen around you, and you don't really feed into it. So find breathing exercises, find areas that allow you to be calm. Also, another thing that a high profile person does is they are consistent and persistent. A high profile individual doesn't necessarily give up on success. Even when people are telling them you're not successful, you don't have what it takes, you need to focus on something else. A high profile individual will continue to fight, continue to want to grow, continue to stay relevant, continue to be there. They are consistently being persistent, that the universe doesn't allow them to give up. And the universe doesn't allow them to say no or to go back to where it was that they once came from, because now this high profile individual is moving further, moving farther, and keeps growing and going. So it is something that you want to stay focused on, is staying persistent and staying consistent. Persistent and consistent. However you want to put it, you got to stay both. Consistency always pays off. There was a time where I told you guys, I dropped out of the first nursing school that I went to. It wasn't for me. I didn't like the learning style. I felt very overwhelmed. But there was a time where I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be a nurse. Maybe I'm not supposed to be somebody who is in nursing. But then after, man, I just said, no, I'm not giving up. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to stay persistent. And even if I fail this next semester, even if I get kicked out, I'm just going to keep going. And eventually that is what happened. I kept going. Luckily, the next nursing school I went to was so much easier for me. It wasn't as challenging. I enjoyed the learning style. I enjoyed the community in that nursing school, and I did remarkable and I became a nurse. So you definitely have to stay consistent and persistent. And also you need to learn to adapt. A lot of high profile individuals know how to adapt. During COVID, we had a shutdown of businesses. High profile individuals adapted to what was occurring. They adapted it. They went to start to show their services more online. Instead of waiting for the people to come to them, they went to the people. So learn to adapt in difficult situations. Another thing that a high profile individual does, besides getting a mentor, is being the mentor. A high profile individual looks at how they can share their knowledge, how they can share their expertise, how they can share their wisdom to somebody who is on likely journeys and also on things that feel and also resemble many of the things that they have been going through. So you do also want to give back to the community, give back to the collective, give back to the older version of you who's now somebody else, right? Give back to that energy and become a mentor. Show people, teach people, let people see. Don't gatekeep people. You got to basically allow this wisdom and knowledge to continue to grow. Also, protect your reputation. Stay away from controversy. Stay away from getting in trouble. Stay away from allowing people to create rumors about you, allowing people to see maybe a side of you that, wasn't very great, right? Like, don't get sloppy drunk when you're hanging out with a bunch of people that you don't really know that well. Or make sure that the people in your collective are good, trusting people, right? You also want to pay attention to what it is that you post online and where it is that people see you and find you. And basically, you want to think before you speak, and you want to think before you do certain actions. So protect your reputation. High profile individuals protect their reputation. And also you want to basically build authentic connections. Also, what high profile individuals do is they have prioritized the energy of work-life balance. They see when it's time to relax. They see when it's time to work. They're maintaining healthy relationships, and also they see that mental health is crucial. So that is the top 5 of being a high profile individual. So we are going to say yes to the next high profile individual that we become to be. And I gotta go because it's girls' night and I'm gonna have fun because I am going to be mingling with my inner collective. And everybody have an amazing day. Comment, like, and subscribe. Bye. Mwah.